First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash, and of ourselves Greek millstone, while lunch is truth, and also to those elect that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. And come back here today with another great, powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So the type of day lesson is Cuba banking crisis. So I like to say Shalom to all that listen and learn. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So I have a quick news article here by AP Associated Press. We're just going to read the title. I'm not going to go into the news article, but we have videos to bring it out with more edification. So we just read the title. And it reads, it said, long lines form and frustration grows as Cuba runs short of cash. So we already know, we've been hearing the reports that Cuba banking financial system has collapsed, and also we know that these banks has closed. Also people are trying to get money out of the what you call the ATM. So they cannot get any money to buy their necessities like food, water, medical supply, clothing, and so forth. So we're seeing that right now, crisis. Cuba is in a great crisis right now, and a lot of things has not been reported. And also, it's rumors that they're getting ready to offer them universal basic income. We already know where this is going to lead. So we already seeing that these other countries are constantly rolling out these digital IDs, because one thing about it's going to work hand in hand with this new digital currency they get ready to put into place, and also the ultimate goal will go under the skin. So we seeing that these things are rolling out right before our eyes, and also the mental law constantly been reporting on this left and right, telling you that you will not be able to buy or sell. You're seeing right now it already has started in Cuba. Let's read this title once again. It said, long lines formed and frustration grows as Cuba runs short of cash. So right now, we already know that the dollar is finished, the fiat currency, the petro dollar. So we already know that once the dollar go, we know that all hell would break loose. So a lot of people right now, they can't buy food. So we already know that will be food shortage. Also, it was rumors that they didn't have any type of internet. He's saying that also that the power in certain places in Cuba was, the power was out. So the communication. So it's already been has been prophesied that, and also we've been telling you about what they're saying, that rumors of cyber attacks. A lot of these things are coming, it's a time of trouble that we've never seen before. Jacob's trouble is at the door, and also the hour of temptation. So we're seeing right now, these people right now are in a panic mode, so they're what you call going to be like blind men, So it's going to be a lot of great desperation and sorrow. So a lot of people had money in the bank, thinking that they was a good case. Now they seeing right now that a calamity has fallen upon them. Now what are you going to do? So a lot of people right now is going to line up and trust in this new system they get ready to put in place, starting with this universal basic income. This is the what you call debate. They are baiting you up for something very, very more sinister, more dark. So they want what? Total control. Badge of servitude. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to try to go into too deep. So we're seeing right here that it already had started in Cuba, and also it is coming to America very soon. We already constantly warning you, and they already constantly been predicting that the dollar is getting ready to crash, that the economy is getting ready to crash. So one thing about it, so a lot of people right now, still are in the house of mirror, still drinking and being married, going on with their daily life, still are not considering, don't know the signs of the time, don't even know what day it is, So we seeing right now that, these things are constantly picking up. Bible prophecy is speaking loud and clear. Also, World War III is constantly picking up. A lot of things that happen, and also the love of men is constantly waxing colder and colder, and also the vision of spirit is constantly working overtime. So we knowing that we're here. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is Cuba banking crisis. So I have a few short videos, and after the video, we will start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified.
Y'all, we gotta talk, because yet again, they are playing in your faces. Have y'all heard about this? Cubans wake up to find their bank accounts have been emptied. Socialism. Fantastic slogans, a terrifying reality. The banking system has collapsed in Cuba. Bank accounts have been emptied and no cash at ATMs. It goes on to read, the financial banking system in Cuba has completely collapsed. Cubans woke to learn their bank accounts have been emptied. There is no cash at ATMs. The entire financial system in Cuba has completely collapsed. For some reason, this monumental story has not made it onto the mainstream media. The Cuban people have been left with no financial resources. They have no means of buying food. They are desperate and they are afraid. Some say this is the final destination. This is where globalism, tyranny, wants to lead you to the apocalypse. Cubans are forced to adopt the digital banking system, and now they are financially ruined. They have no recourse. The government will next offer the Cuban citizens universal basic income. Wow.
Breaking news, breaking news. Listen to me right now. You need to listen to this important information that no one is speaking about it. Everybody is ignoring this. Cuba is running out of money. All the banks in Cuba are running out of money. This can happen in USA too. Listen, that's how the government is going to start taking power. This man right here has 3 days trying to take money out of the bank, and he haven't, because all the ATM says out of service. Listen to this reporter straight from Cuba. What is going on
taken
right
to the
now?
streets once again last Sunday in Santiago de Cuba and also in other areas near Santiago. So hundreds of people took to the streets in response to electric power outages that are controlled by the state and the regime. Also food crisis. In Cuba there is very little food for the amount of millions of people that are on the island. And so Cubans since began practicing once again at the stage of thousands of protesters their activism. They've been engaging in rights that they don't have, but they've been demanding that they have a right to talk and to engage with each other and the public and the international community on their complaints with the current government, which is repression, which is silence, a lot of propaganda. And so the Cubans are out on the streets. Once again, it's getting hotter and hotter. It's almost, summer, and there's very little power. There's old technology that is somewhat comparable to old 1950s cars. And so you don't have an efficient electric system. And you have an electric system that's controlled by the state, that is at times weaponized by the state, just like food is weaponized by the state. So the economic conditions, I don't want your viewers to think it is something that is just happening naturally. No, this is something controlled internally by the Cuban regime. And most of the time it has to do with weaponizing both food and electricity so that people won't demand their human rights.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you read this, fam. It's a long story. As you read it, listen. The Bank of Cuba, right, adopted this CBDC, the central bank digital currency, and left them without all their resources, man. The bank collapsed, and now these people don't have nothing. So, this is something to carefully consider moving forward. A lot of these countries are going to a central bank digital currency where they're using more of a digital method of payment than they're going with cash. Cash is obsolete. We just use cash based off of confidence. This is like an old traditional way that people exchange products or goods or services or receive payments. The value of the fiat currency has lost significant value. The purchasing power. The value of the fiat currency has lost significant purchasing power since its inception in 1913. Many people are not educated on this. Hell, the 99% of the world are not educated on this. This is something that's not put in schools and any type of curriculum. Economics is not. It was at one time. It's not no longer. Just like they took out home ec for the kids. That's why more kids don't even know how to cook. Yeah, it's a long story. A lot of shit's microwavable. Right, it's crazy. But this is something to carefully consider what's taking place because these banks are all ancestrally connected. Understand what I'm trying to explain to you? Just like we are all ancestrally connected. It's just the fact that they're unified and we aren't. And they have a plan and they follow their plan. And many of us, we start plans and resolutions just like New Year's. And we kind of like, we have no structure. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So a lot of people will suffer financially because of this. And many other banks that's collapsing moving forward. The only thing I can strongly recommend and encourage is that you do some due diligence, do some research, question whatever you got to, get around some like-minded individuals, position yourself. You heard? Peace.
So we saying, control the money, control the people. You know what I'm saying? Control the money, control the food, control the people. So we seeing that we're very close, to total control. We seeing we in this transition, period to this digital society. They want total control. Would be dealing with your biometric. Mental law constantly warning you left and right. So we seeing that it's coming full circle. All the gainsaying, all the unbelief. See what's happening in Cuba. These people right now are in panic mode. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, they already forcing them in a chokehold. So they, one thing about it, a lot of those people's over there, they'll get ready to, to find out who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And one thing about it, and over here in America, they're in for a rude awakening. So let's start today's lesson. We'll start here in Ecclesiastes, Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 7. It said, make no terror to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So there's right now, all of a sudden this has happened. They don't have any money in Cuba. People making bank runs. People's in disarray. A lot of things are happening. So we already know there's going to be food shortage. It's going to be water short. It's going to panic. It's going to break out. Now they're coming up with this solution with the universal basic income. So we already know it's going into what? Total control. You will not be able to buy or sell without taking it under the skin. So we're seeing that we're getting very close to these times. We're very excited. Lord is getting ready to return. Our salvation is at the door. Verse 8, it says, set not thy heart upon goods unjustly gotten, for they shall not profit thee in the day of calamity. So a lot of people, had money in the bank, and a lot of people lost their money. A lot of people right now bugged out of their mind. What I'm going to do? How I'm going to get food? How I'm going to get my medical supply? How is my children going to eat? How is my family going to eat? My wife, So one thing about it is that, hey, Lord is getting ready to try everyone on the planet. So just like I said, it's getting ready to be a global event that you have never seen before. The hour of temptation is fast to approach. The Lord is breaking the staff of the bread. Your necessity, your way of life is getting ready to change. This place is getting ready to be a third world country. This place is getting ready to be a war zone. Look at Cuba. It already was a third world country. It's going to get worse and worse. And also many will be taken in a great number. So now let's go here to 2 Amos chapter 16. Very quick lesson through the Spirit. 2 Amos chapter 16. And we'll start up around verse, let's start up at verse 17. It said, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Woe going to destruction. Now that we already know that, great tribulation, great persecution, all these things are coming upon us. Jacob trouble is fast approaching. We seeing that these things are lining up just like clockwork. Verse 18 said, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So what shall you do? And one thing about the only way you can be prepared if the Lord is dealing with you. If you're part of the elect, you will be in what? The secret place of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. And one thing about it, the Lord will sustain you. He will provide for if you are part of that remnant that he's coming back for. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it that we see